Thank you, Jed, Eddie, and the Pride Committee. This is such an honour to share this collective Grand Marshal role for Pride 2020, and I accept it with pride. I am very humbled to stand here and represent Frontline Workers. To be acknowledged during this global emergency as one of the frontline workers is very surreal. I don't see myself in that category as those who work on the coalface, such as our amazing GPs, nurses, doctors, cleaners, porters, care assistants, caterers, and all those people working in hospitals and residential settings. Also our amazing first responders, ambulance, fire brigade, and Garda personnel. Lest we forget the retail staff, truck drivers, delivery personnel on all levels, from public transport, food, through to postal workers. I would be honoured to carry the torch for all of these amazing individuals. You are very much appreciated, and each one a hero in my eyes. Thank you for acknowledging not only my role as interpreter, but also my activism and volunteer work in the LGBTQ+ community. Myself and Eddie have stood shoulder to shoulder on many occasions. In our silent response during the Repeal the 8 campaign, when those who will remain nameless decided to target our community. Interpreting for Trans Pride. Campaigning, this time 5 years ago, in Northside Shopping Centre with my good friend Linda Sheridan, during the run-up to the marriage equality, where we were exposed to some verbal abuse, but on the whole, a very positive experience. A highlight for me was when my parents, bless them, going out of their way to bring us refreshments, and my dad wanting to defend our honour when some ill-informed people were shouting abuse. The MAREF was a very significant time for myself and my daughter as she turned 18 that year. So going to the polls on the 22nd of May 2015 was her first vote. I remember going to Dublin County Council for the registration forms, which she was delighted to distribute to her friends and fellow students in college in advance of the registration deadline. After all, every vote counted. The walk to the polling station was both exciting and daunting, and while the rule to prevent campaigning at the polling station was in place, no memorabilia, etc., we decided to use eyeshadows and paint rainbows on our eyelids. Now, we were the only ones who knew they were there, but it gave us that extra boost of confidence and faith that our country's true colours would shine through on that day. My daughter took my hand as we passed through the school gates and said, "I truly believe we got this." Still makes my heart burst with joy recalling that moment. And as they say, the rest is history. Back to the current climate we find ourselves in. When this pandemic hit, we all wanted to play our part and again answer Ireland's call. For me, the resource I had to offer was my Irish Sign Language. One of a team of sign language interpreters, both on and off screen, I think this is a fantastic endorsement of the deaf community and their language. Like most professions, there is still a lot of people and work going on in the background in order for us to provide the best service we can. Pride has always been accessible to the deaf community as far back as I can remember. I think my first time to interpret for Pride was back in 2009 or thereabouts. And while music through sign language is not everyone's cup of tea, it is one of those highlights of my calendar year. An opportunity to get together with our tribe and reflect on what we have achieved and where to concentrate our collective efforts in the future. Believe it or not, I'm actually quite a very shy person, and while I stand in front of an audience of thousands looking very confident, I'm actually living vicariously through the signers or speakers on the day, enjoying being that voice of authority, the wonderful singer, or the sassy drag queen. And on that note, I'll put my interpreting cap back on so we can get on with the celebrations. My goodness, where does time go? Happy 5th Marrev. This is for all the frontline services out there. The LGBTQ+ community are with you, and we thank you.